Hi guys! Today I'm going to talk about my plan and my prep for my very first ever Rhinebeck. I am so excited and I can't wait to share it all with you. Hi guys! Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you are a new viewer, welcome and thank you for coming to check me out. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back to hang out with me and support my channel. I am Jessie Pellet, also known as That MN Yarn Girl, and as you might have guessed, I live in Minnesota with my husband Mike, my now 13-year-old son Thaden, and our two lovely kitties, Zuli and Mia. So I just want to give you a heads up. I realize it's been a while since I have posted anything, and I apologize for that, but just been crazy busy trying to prep for Rhinebeck. I also realize I haven't set out an update on my progress towards becoming a Master Knitter Level 1, and that is because I've had some struggles with cable tension, and I also did not have... I had needed to order some more yarn because I'm heading into the color section where I needed contrasting color, and the contrasting color I had originally picked out I just didn't feel was enough of a contrast. So those are kind of some of my struggles, and I just decided to put it aside for a little bit, and because I was frantically trying to get done with my Rhinebeck sweater and I just didn't want to try to rush through that. I really want to make sure that I am turning in quality work. So I decided that I was going to forgive myself for not reaching my original deadline and put it aside for a little bit so I could focus on Rhinebeck and then come back to it after Rhinebeck with fresh eyes and hopefully just really do some quality work so I can get that turned in. So that's why you haven't seen an update on that for a little while, but I should be back at it next week. Also, this episode is going to be a little bit different. I am not going to include all of my normal, well, not all of my normal segments because, again, I am leaving for Rhinebeck tomorrow. It's my first Rhinebeck and I am so excited. And I just wanted to share with you guys my plans and all of my prep that I have been doing for Rhinebeck. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys, and I'm just going to try to bang out a quick episode here. I wanted to make sure I got something out to you guys because it has been a while, but I still have a lot to do. So I'm trying to be as quick as possible and get something to you, get some interesting fun stuff to you guys. So let's go. Let's talk Rhinebeck. Yay! Okay guys, so my plans for Rhinebeck are right here. I've kind of got just like a loose little itinerary that I have made up for myself. I've done some research, and I found that a lot of people say it's just really good idea to have a plan ahead of time. So that is what I did right here. So my husband Mike is coming with me, and I'm hoping he will be my cameraman so I can get some footage. So for if any of you that cannot make it to Rhinebeck, we'll have a recap. He is also bringing his drone, so I'm hoping, I'm not 100% positive, but I'm hoping that they will let us bring it onto the fairgrounds so that we can get some aerial photography, aerial footage. Would be super cool. So we'll see if that happens. But anyway, so my plan is we are leaving bright and early tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. We are leaving bright and early, and we are getting in to New York around 11, and then we're going to drive up to, we're getting into JFK, we're going to drive up to all of the events. I unfortunately did not get a ticket to Indie Untangled. Again, this is my first year, and I didn't realize that you needed to buy a ticket ahead of time. So, and it's all sold out, and they say do not try to buy a ticket at the door. So I'm really bummed that I did not get a ticket to Indie Untangled, because I know there's going to be some great vendors there, and I'm just really super sad about that. But I am going to go to Needles Up. There's going to be some great vendors there as well, so I'm going to check out that. And then in Saugerties, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I think it's Saugerties, New York, there is a ton of events that's kind of like around Indie Untangled. So even though I can't make it to Indie Untangled, there's plenty of other stuff to do. I know that the Perfect Blend Yarn and Tea is they're going to be open, and there's just going to be a bunch of, like, there is this, what is it called? There, oh, now I can't find it. My writing is too little. But there, oh, the Dutch Ale House is having a sit and knit. I know there's also a sit and knit at a gallery. So I'm definitely gonna check those out. And I'm really excited about that. Then on Saturday, I plan to obviously go to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, Rhinebeck, and I've got a list of vendors that I'm kind of interested in checking out. Most of my list, I think, came from Kristy Glass Knits, her Rhinebeck guide, which was phenomenal, and I was super excited to see that because it did kind of get me more excited about some of the vendors. And I plan on attending the Ravelry meetup, and then Saturday night, I'm going to do the Jill Draper Makes stuff. She's got a little party there, and it looks like her yarn is phenomenal. And I'm thinking I'm going to get a kit for, what was it? There was a shawl that they had again on the Kristy Glass Knits on her. Well, this was Guide to Jill Draper Makes stuff. They had a shawl. What was it called? Bradford Road shawl kit, which just looked gorgeous, and there was so many fun colors in there, and so I think I want to pick out a kit. She said they were gonna have kits available for that, so I think I want to grab one of those. We'll see. And then Sunday again, just going to attend the festival, and Monday we don't leave until very late, so we might check out New York City a little bit. Neither my husband Mike or I have ever been to New York City, so we are excited about that as well. So those are that's my agenda. But what I am really looking forward to is meeting people and making friends. Okay, I know a lot of people go to Rhinebeck to shop, and I am excited to do some shopping. I'm really excited to be able to get my hands on some yarns that, I just maybe haven't been exposed to before. So don't get me wrong, I am excited to shop. But my goal, first and foremost, is to make fiber friends. Because, guys, I don't have a ton of friends that knit. I have a few friends that crochet, but they maybe aren't as passionate about crocheting as I am about knitting. So I am just really looking forward to meeting some other people who are as excited about knitting as I am. I've been trying to kind of get myself into a couple different, I've recently joined the Minnesota Knitters Guild, and I think I'm going to try to start attending some knitting nights when I get back from Rhinebeck, because I really just I feel like I want to create a community around myself of other people and just really get to know other passionate knitters. And I just really haven't been able to find a lot of friends, mainly because I can be really shy. I'm borderline introvert, extrovert, so when I get into situations where I maybe don't know as many other people, I just kind of freak out and shut down. And so I just really feel like I haven't pushed myself to get out there and meet other fiber friends, and so that is what I'm really excited to do at Rhinebeck. One of the things, I'm going to show you guys something. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to do to get myself to kind of have an icebreaker, if you will, to get myself to talk to other people, is I am going to wear a sign. And I've made this sign. I don't have the clip art here yet, so it's not completely done. But this says, "Wanted Fiber Friends." And oops, it's stuck. Grab that. Sorry about that. This is Wanted Fiber Friends, and it's styled like an old-fashioned wanted poster. And it just says, wanted for casting on everything and knitting all the things. Last seen at the local yarn store. And description, physical characteristics vary very wildly, but is often seen knitting in public. Can be heard using slang such as whips, FOs, tink, frogging, and sleeve island. Has been known to play the dangerous game of yarn chicken. And finally, the reward is camaraderie lasting longer than your stash. So I'm going to wear this in the front, and then I'm going to get another, I think on the back side, I haven't finished that one yet, but I think I'm going to have another sign on the back that maybe is just kind of styled like a want ad, or like an old-fashioned, like, yeah, like an old-fashioned want ad, classifieds. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm hoping if I wear that, it will encourage me, and it will encourage others to approach me, and it'll be a great icebreaker so that I am not just, like, again, kind of frozen in fear to talk to other people, because that happens. I mean, like I said, I am borderline introvert, extrovert, and sometimes when I get surrounded by people I don't know, even if I want to talk to them or want to meet them, I'm just like, I just like all of a sudden can't think, can't function. So I'm hoping that that will help break the ice and help get me past that. The other thing I want to do is, so like I said, I don't have a ton of knitter friends. Oops, it's falling over. But I have a ton of friends that love crafting, right? So they came over last weekend, and look at these lovely ladies that helped me do. We made tons of progress keepers, tons of fun progress keepers, and we just attach them. I have these little cards with all of my contact information, and we just attached the little progress keepers to these cards. And there are so many different fun charms here. I had some charms left over from a project I did when one of my girlfriends got married a couple years ago. So they're just all these random fun charms, and we just in an afternoon we whipped out like probably a couple hundred of these. And so I'm going to also be trying to meet as many people as I can and hand these out so that people can find a way to get in touch with me afterwards, so that, like I said, I can make lots of new fiber friends. So if you are going to Rhinebeck, please, if you see me wearing my sign, please, please, please come up and say hello and introduce yourself, because like I said, even though I'm excited about shopping, I am more excited about making friends and meeting other fiber fanatics like myself. So please, please, please come introduce yourself to me. Super, super excited for Rhinebeck, and super, super excited to meet a whole bunch of other great people. So that is my plans. Now I'm going to move on to my works in progress. Okay, so my works in progress is my Harley sweater that I am really hoping to be done with, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm really, really sad, you guys, because this was, like, I was really hoping this could be my Rhinebeck sweater. It's gonna be my Rhinebeck sweater in a whole different way. It's gonna be my Rhinebeck sweater in the way that I am going to be working on it at Rhinebeck. I think, so this is only the third sweater I think that I've done. The first one I did a couple years ago, and I did in worsted weight yarn, and it really did not take me that long at all. So I just think in my head I thought it wasn't going to take me that long, which is when I had struggled with that same thing with Water Lily, and I should have learned my lesson that one took way longer than I anticipated, because that one was fingering weight yarn. And then because that one took longer than I anticipated, I didn't get started on this one until well after I had originally planned on getting started on this one. So I'm not sure that it's going to be complete, but it is coming along. Oh, that's the back side. It is coming along. You can see I finished the collar, and then I picked up the stitches. I did my did the upper part with the shoulders, separated for the sleeves, and I'm kind of down to the waist part. And I have gone through and I've started my third color on the waist part. So I do have all of my colors in, and I just kind of did a little bit of, it's kind of a fade, it's kind of just, I started with my first color, or I started putting in my next color, and then I did 3 rows between, and then I did my next color 2 rows between, and then I repeated that, and then I did every other row for about 10 rows total, 5 each for each color, and then I reversed it and did 2 of my new color, 1 of my old, 2 of my new color, 1 of my old, 3 of my new color, 1 of my old, and then just into my old color. And that's the same way that I did down here on the bottom. And then, so on the sleeve, I did try, so I kind of decided to take a break from the body because I am running low on this, this colorway is Flama. I'm running low on this colorway, and so I wanted to be able to have my scale so that when I started my sleeve, so I knew exactly how much to leave for the other side so that at least the sleeves line up. So I've kind of started the left sleeve, and I've started introducing that third colorway. I'm not sure once I get this third colorway in fully if I'm going to just keep on going with this or if I'm going to wait and go back to the body. I haven't really fully determined that yet. But once again, the yarn is Malabrigo Rios, and this is, this color is Sunset. This reddish orange is Flama, and this bottom, like, variegated multicolor is Diana. And so I'm working on this, and like I said, I don't think, so I'm bringing it to Rhinebeck. I'm going to work on it there. I'm going to work on it during the sit and knits on Friday. I'm going to work on it in the plane. So maybe if I'm really, really lucky, I can wear it on Sunday. But if not, I'm planning on wearing my water lily sweater with a long sleeve underneath it. It might be a little bit sprinkly rainy on Saturday, so then I'd have to wear a jacket over it anyways. But yes, so I'm not sure. We'll see if I get this finished or not. I hope I can maybe at least finish it by Sunday and I can wear it on Sunday. But then, and then, like I said, if not, it's my Rhinebeck sweater in a whole different meaning. It's my Rhinebeck sweater in the fact that I got to work on it at Rhinebeck. And as you know, as a knitter, when you work on things at certain places, or then like that kind of becomes a memory as part of that project. So I'm disappointed, but not too disappointed, because at least then I can always look back at this sweater and think, oh, that was my first Rhinebeck, and just have those memories like built into this sweater. So like I said, disappointed, not terribly disappointed. And I've been working on this incredibly hard in the last like week or two, and so I didn't want to like pressure myself to work on it like literally day in and day out. I just wanted to make sure that I was enjoying the process too. So I kind of decided that if I couldn't finish it, it wasn't going to be the end of the world. And that I could, like I said, I can still work on it at Rhinebeck, and it can still be my Rhinebeck sweater. So this is Harley by Jenny Williams, and I am loving this pattern. I am absolutely loving it. The cables are gorgeous. This braid is going to go all the way down the sleeve, and there's a raglan cable pattern here, and then love it. I just love it. And I loved changing the colors. That just also made it so much fun, because it was like, oh, I just want to get through to the next color. I just want to get my colors in. So you know, now that I'm at this third color, it's fun seeing how it comes together with the variegation in it. And I'm just loving this pattern. So that again is Harley by Jenny Williams, and the colors are Malabrigo Rios, Sunset, Flama, and Diana. So that is my work in progress. Now it's time for Improve Along. And the Improve Along this month, it is, so it was inspired because, again, I've been working very, very diligently on my Harley sweater. And one morning I woke up and I was trying to knit and my right hand got all tingly. So I think I was having, either I slept on it wrong or maybe it was kind of a start of a little bit of carpal tunnel. So I had to take a day, I just took a break from knitting for a day, which was really, really difficult. It was only one day, but it was still really, really difficult. And I did a lot of research on kind of knitting, knitting with like ergonomics and, you know, just keeping in mind the health of your muscles and you know, everything in your hands to make sure, and taking care of it so that it doesn't become a problem, you know, to knit a lot. And so the thing I want to do for the Improve Along this month is to I just want you to stop and think about the way that you're knitting and think about if there's anything that you can do to just kind of help improve the ergonomics of it or improve the health of it. You know, maybe doing some stretching, taking breaks. Those are great things that you can do. One thing that I am planning to do when I get back from Rhinebeck is I did some research on the different types of knitting and, like, you know, whether or not continental or English knitting, which one is the better method as far as taking care of your hands and those repetitive movements. And I did come across a book by Carson Demir, which I do want to order because it's all about the ergonomics of knitting and just, again, taking care of your hands and your wrists and your shoulders and everything while you're knitting. And one of the things, and I watched an interview by him on the Fruity Knitting podcast, and I will pop a link to that below. That's a great podcast, by the way. But yeah, anyways, it was a great interview, and he kind of said in there that there are problems with both English knitting and with continental knitting. Both of them kind of can create those like repetitive stress injuries. So I did a little bit more research and found a lot of people recommend lever knitting, or also known as Irish cottage knitting, and I think some people call it flicking. I think those are all the same methods. And Staci Perry has a phenomenal instructional video on how to do what she calls it flicking. And basically the concept is just that you are not letting go of that right hand needle, and you're just kind of trying to you're moving the yarn in such a way that you're not having to have as large of muscle movements. And so I think that is kind of ultimately what people say is the best method for ergonomic knitting. So I really want to try, when I get back, I'm going to watch her video and I'm going to practice. And she said that you can't just do a swatch. You have to do an entire, like she said, when she made the conscious decision to switch to that type of knitting, she had to do an entire blanket. And I think, so I think that is what I'm going to try to do. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to incorporate that, because changing your knitting style can obviously change your tension. So I don't want to do it in the middle of a project. And since I'm still working on my master knitter stuff, I'm not sure if I want to try doing something different that kind of might change everything in terms of my tension and all of that. So I might wait until I'm done with that and then pick a blanket or pick a large project that I know I can just kind of focus on for a couple weeks and make sure that I am really focused on trying to knit in this different style. The other great benefit of it is that it goes way faster, because you're having smaller muscle movements and you're not putting down your needles. So, or not putting them down, but you're not moving your needle. You're keeping it in your hand all of the time. And so then it's a much, much faster way to knit. And there's some really fun videos out there, and watching people like speed knit, and they can get like 80 to 90 stitches per minute. That's amazing. So I really want to try this, but I'm not going to try it until I get back from Rhinebeck, until I've, you know, kind of maybe finished some of the projects that I'm currently working on. But I just want to encourage you, if you're not ready to try a whole new style of knitting, I want to encourage you to just stop and think about the way you're knitting, and maybe just some little things that you can do to make sure you're taking care of your hands and wrists and shoulders and all of that. And just, you know, post pictures in the improve along of what you are working on, and what methods you used, or what kinds of things you did to improve your style, or improve taking care of yourself while knitting. So that is this month's improve along. Okay, so the final segment is tips, tricks, and hacks. And this month, the tips, tricks, and hacks kind of go along with the previous segment, the improve along. I want to talk about a few different stretches and some different things that I found that can be helpful to, again, just make sure that you're keeping yourself, you know, in good shape for knitting. So the first one, I'm gonna actually pop a link below. I found this YouTube video that talks about using a ball to kind of just do some nice little stretches, I guess. And so she just, and I'm gonna pop the link below because she explains it much better than I do. But she just takes the ball and kind of does some various like movements on the table. She says you can also use if you don't have a table, you can just kind of do it in between two hands. And so there's a couple methods that she talks about using a ball to kind of just massage and stretch out your hands. She does say to be careful not to overextend your fingers and your thumbs. That's kind of her biggest cautionary method, or cautionary tip, I guess. And so again, I'll pop a link below that describes the use of a ball. Some other things that I have found, you know, is just some good stretches to do, and I'll pop another link I found on kind of, I think it was like Yoga for Knitters it was called. But, you know, so she just shows to do some various types of stretching. One of the ones I found was rolling your wrists in clockwise position 5 times. I think that was 5 times. And then in the opposite direction 5 times. So that's one good one. Another one, a lot of people say to do this, but again, the one video I found with the ball, she said to be careful not to overextend your fingers. So I said, again, I saw a lot of stretches that go this way, and then that go, again, the other way. So doing those. Just making sure, I'm going to take my scarf off for a minute. Another one is just kind of doing the shoulder rolls is another really good stretch to make sure that you're doing. So again, I'm going to pop some links below because they describe the stretches better than I do, but there are some great stretches and things that you can do to make sure that you're just taking care of yourself while you're knitting. Some great tips from the Carson Demir's interview was to make sure you're drinking water, make sure you're not just sitting, and you're not just like sitting for hours and hours at a time. That make sure you're getting up, you're moving around, and you're stretching and moving other parts of your body too. So those are just some great tips to make sure you're taking care of yourself so that you don't have repetitive stress or other kinds of injuries that would make you stop knitting, because that would be awful. So just wanted to share some of those things with you, and that's what I got. Alright guys, that is all I've got for you today, but thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it when you come and join me and you support my channel. If you like what you saw, please like, subscribe, and comment below. You can also find me on Instagram, Ravelry, and Facebook, all as That MN Yarn Girl. And if you are going to be at Rhinebeck, please do say hello. Otherwise, that's all I got. I'm going to leave you with cats and hats. Bye.